Predictability is the silent killer of female desire. Not because it hurts but because it dulls. Over time, the predictable man fades into the background. The nice guy isn't dismissed for being kind, he's dismissed for being easy to read, for being ever available, for being nothing but white noise. And this is where most men fall short. They confuse constant kindness with value, not realizing it often communicates the opposite: a lack of challenge, a lack of depth, a lack of tension. Picture this: an all-white canvas with a single black dot. Now reverse it, a black canvas with one white speck. Which one draws your focus? It's always the element that breaks the pattern. The brain is wired to notice disruption, contrast, asymmetry. The overly kind man blends into the emotional scenery, unnoticed. But a subtle, thoughtful act from the usually reserved, composed man, that lands like lightning. It shocks her senses. It anchors in her memory. She replays it. She wonders. She returns. Here lies the harsh irony: the nice guy believes he's not doing enough. So, he tries harder. More compliments. More calls. More devotion. But the more he gives, the less he's seen. Because relentless availability doesn't convey strength, it screams emotional dependency. And neediness is not seductive. It repels. Nietzsche, in Beyond Good and Evil, offers a brutal mirror. What is good? That which enhances the feeling of power. What is bad? That which stems from weakness. Seduction isn't about morality, it's about perception. And the man who chases approval through excess reveals his inner fragility. He overwhelms her instead of intriguing her. And those who overwhelm, drown out. That's why it's often the emotionally distant man, the one who pushes limits, who never lays out all his cards, who leaves the deepest impression. He activates her psychological slot machine, the intermittent reward system. He's mystery with flashes of intimacy. Distance laced with sudden warmth. Silence punctuated by deliberate attention. This emotional rhythm, this tension between absence and presence, is what triggers desire. And the overly good guy? He'll never stir this storm. But here's the paradox. The good guy isn't pretending. He's often sincere, respectful, generous, thoughtful. Yet, he's passed over. It stings. It feels unjust. But it's not injustice, it's biology. Female desire doesn't respond to virtue. It reacts to unpredictability, to contrast, to emotional volatility. The sexual mind isn't governed by fairness. It's governed by instinct. By nature. And nature plays by ancient, untamed rules. The man who fails to grasp this becomes expendable. The man who does, shifts the game. He doesn't stop being kind, he stops being obvious. He becomes unforgettable. This is where the transformation begins. The art of being part light, part shadow, the man who can't be categorized. He's not a villain, but he's no one's pawn. And in that ambiguity lies his dominance. Most men see only two options: be the obedient nice guy who begs for love, or the reckless player who burns but lingers in her thoughts. But there is a third path. And he's far more dangerous. He is the unpredictable gentleman. Calm, calculated, balanced. He combines grace with mystery. Tenderness with detachment. Not needy, not cruel, but powerful. He doesn't plead. He doesn't vanish. He doesn't chase. He seduces with timing, with restraint. He is rare, like vintage wine, savored in small doses, impossible to forget. This man does something the other two never will: he becomes a puzzle she can't solve. And the brain? It's addicted to unfinished riddles. Think of Don Draper from Mad Men. Not a saint. Not a devil. He listens, he holds, he disappears. He leaves room for imagination. He creates emotional contrast, and in doing so, he captures obsession. He doesn't seek validation, he becomes it. This is what Robert Greene calls selective enchantment. Not giving more attention, but giving it strategically. A compliment from him isn't just words, it's a reward. Rare, earned, and unforgettable. Compare that to the man who compliments her daily. The first electrifies. The second numbs. That's the essence of emotional dosage. The unpredictable gentleman knows this. Every action loses magic if it's overused. He doesn't give to win her. He gives to leave an imprint. And to do that, he lives by one rule: never be fully available. Not out of pride. Out of intelligence that he understands that desire needs space to breathe. Doubt to grow. Distance to ignite. When you're always there, you become background noise. And background noise isn't remembered, it's ignored. But how do you walk this path without faking it? The secret lies in principle. He acts based on standards, not emotional whims. If she oversteps, he doesn't cave. If she respects, he rewards. He's consistent in values, unpredictable in expression. That's lasting charisma. Seduction, at this level, isn't about acting. It's about stance. He doesn't bark to prove dominance. He stands, and that's enough. When she tests him, he doesn't react. He redirects. Calm. Collected. Unshaken. There's a moment in a story where a woman says, "Wait here." And the man replies, "I'll be over there. Find me when you return." It's subtle, but it's power. He shows he's open, but never on command. He bends without breaking. And that contradiction, warm but untouchable, haunts her. This is why the man who appears less interested often becomes the one she obsesses over. He's not predictable. He's not a narrative. He's a paradox. And desire is born in paradox. The middle ground man is unforgettable because he lingers as a question mark. He's the white speck on a dark canvas, etched in memory. And this is why being half gentle, half enigmatic is far more seductive than being all good. Good gets forgotten. Mystery gets burned into the brain, but to master this balance takes more than theory, it takes emotional precision. You must understand how the female psyche reacts. And that's what we'll unpack next, the art of emotional control. Seduction is not linear, it's dynamic. A rhythm. A gamble. A tension between stimulus and silence. If you always reward her, she stops trying. If you vanish entirely, she stops caring. The power lies in the unpredictability, the up and down current. This is the psychology of intermittent reward, the very mechanism that drives addiction to apps, games, even gambling. The brain releases more dopamine when rewards are unexpected. Apply this to romance, and you unlock obsession. A man who offers sporadic attention triggers hope, anxiety, and anticipation, the recipe for desire. But take heed, this isn't manipulation. It's mastery. Knowing when to show up, and when to hold back. Let's clarify with 5 emotional scenarios. 1. She feels bad because of you: jealousy, sadness, anger. Here, take responsibility. Don't vanish. Don't excuse. Don't appease. Stand firm. Own it. That's respect. 2. You feel bad because she crossed a line. Don't chase. Don't explain your pain. Withdraw. Quietly. Why? Because rewarding disrespect teaches her to repeat it. 3. She's joyful because of you. Great. Now fade. Don't flood her with more. Let her miss you. Let the high settle into longing. That's how desire brews. 4. You're joyful because she did something admirable. This is the time to reward. Show appreciation. Not flattery, recognition. You're the standard. Led emotionally. 5. She's upset about unrelated issues, family, work, mood swings. Don't rush to fix. Don't shower gifts. Listen. Empathize. But don't reward pain you didn't cause. Or you become a therapist. And there's no seduction in therapy. These 5 dynamics are the foundation. But the refinement? It comes in deciphering indirect signals. Women rarely ask directly. "I want dinner" becomes, "that place looks great." The nice guy jumps. The unpredictable man notes it, and waits. He delivers when least expected. And that turns a hint into a fantasy. Why does it work? Because when she waits, she invests. And what she invests in, she values. Everything rare becomes sacred. Everything earned becomes addictive. As Nietzsche said, happiness is the sensation of growing power. And when she works to win your attention, she feels that power rising. She falls. She craves. She submits. But a final warning, this isn't a game for the weak-hearted. Mastery of this craft gives you power. What you do with it reveals who you are. Use it to feed your ego, and you'll destroy hearts. Use it to build connection, and you'll create lasting fire. The choice is yours. Do you want to be forgotten for being too available, or etched into her soul for being unforgettable on purpose?